Welcome to the Real and Real Review. My name is David, and today I am reviewing the movie The Fate of the Furious. Fate of the Furious stars the family. I'm not going to go down all these people. If you don't know them by now, what in the world? If for some reason this is your first time watching any of the Fast and Furious movies, please tell me why you just stepped into the franchise on this movie. Was it the submarine in the trailer? I don't know, but you should know everybody by now. So, what's the story? The story is that Dom and Letty are on their honeymoon, and a villain bumps into Dom and shows her something on her phone. And so Dom turns his back on his friends and family and goes around the world to do what this villain wants. And the rest of the team goes after him because he's fast and furious. So, how's the movie? We'll go by positives and negatives. Let's start with the plot. The plot makes no sense whatsoever. The villain would have turned out better not using Dom whatsoever, because the villain is a hacker and she can pretty much do everything she wants. Dom basically does 2 action scenes, and because the hacker's so good at hacking, anybody could have done what Dom actually did. And it probably would have benefited her, because if you take Dom out of the equation, his team doesn't come after him, and you pretty much get what you want, just quicker without the interruptions. So that's a negative. Second thing, acting. The acting is kind of even kill. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. The bad is like Vin Diesel trying to be emotional. The good is pretty much Tyrese. Tyrese is the best part of this movie, which I didn't think I'd say. That's no slight at Tyrese. It's just that when you go to a movie about cars, jumping over things, and action, you don't think the comedy is going to be the best part of the movie. But other than The Rock and his one-liners, which are really good, Tyrese is the best part of this movie. So I'd say it's a split between positive and negative. The action. The action is kind of a split as well. Jason Statham has a great action fight scene, which is really fun to watch, but a lot of the other action is cut really quickly, so you can't really tell what's happening, and your eyes are just jumping around from different scenes of what's on the screen. The visuals are also a split. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Sometimes the cars look like toys, so they might have used models. Sometimes it looks really computer generated. The scene in the trailer with the submarine looks pretty good. That whole scene is really great. There's this annoying thing that the director does. Every time he does slow motion, he makes this noise that goes like, and it flips something upside down, or some car upside down, or a person upside down. They do it like 7 to 10 times in the movie, and after a while it just gets really annoying. The screenplay in all is pretty boring. You're pretty bored throughout the movie until the last 15 and 20 minutes, which is the submarine scene that you see in the trailer. That whole section is really fun, but up to then you're just watching noise on the screen. You really could care less. So all in all, though it seems like more negatives than positives, it's not a bad film, it's just not their best film in the franchise. I put it near the bottom. So if I had to decide between going to the movies, watching this on Redbox, waiting till it comes on TV, or it being straight garbage, this is a Redbox watch. It's not up to the standards of probably the past 2 to 3 films, but it's not horrible, and Tyrese basically saves the film. So yeah, grab it on Redbox. Now, on to my nitpicks that don't affect my movie rating. My first nitpick is at the beginning of the film, there's an altercation with Dom and his cousin, and a guy who's taking his cousin's car. So anyway, they end up in a race, and Dom ends up driving the cousin's car. And Dom says, it's not the car you drive, it's who's behind the wheel. And that is bullcrap, because the car looked like this, and it's like he was racing not necessarily a Ferrari, but no, that's a horrible statement. I don't know why he said that. My second nitpick is that at the beginning of this film, there's a scene, and Hobbs is basically just The Rock. He doesn't seem like his character in the previous films. He seems like the charismatic, funny Rock, and it didn't fit and it felt weird. He eventually settled back into being Hobbs, but at the scene in the beginning, he's definitely just The Rock. My second nitpick is the kiss you see in the trailer. It's a pointless kiss. It's not to mess with Letty. It's not to mess with Dom. Dom is not being mind controlled, and they don't even explain it later on, even though Dom asks her. Just a pointless kiss. It annoys you. It makes no sense. My fourth nitpick is the magic EMP. I don't think they know how EMPs work. So Dom has an EMP on his car, and he turns it on, and it shuts down all electronics in a certain radius. But for some reason, his car still works, which I don't understand. I don't know what type of mechanism they used to make it keep going. Maybe they could have showed that. It would have helped out. And also, a helicopter's in the sky like a second later, so I guess it didn't affect everybody. It's just not consistent. And my last nitpick is the Ramsey relationship. So at the end of the movie, Ludacris and Tyrese's character ask her, hey, who are you going to pick? But throughout the movie, they say nothing about this relationship whatsoever. Also, I'd like to point out that I don't understand why they put her in this film because she doesn't really add anything to the group. Ludacris will say something and then she'll add on to it, but she's kind of pointless. I wish they would have gave her more to do rather than just being the pretty face on the screen. But that's all my nitpick, guys. Remember, new episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday. I want to give a shout out to Eric. You are the best. Thanks for listening, guy. Thanks for watching, everybody. We love you. You're the greatest. Please subscribe and support us. Hit us up on social media. You're the best. Have a great day. Bye.